What is post-shot expected goals minus goals allowed? Why was Andre Onana so important to Erik Ten Hag's Ajax side? And where does David De Gea rank for metrics that are crucial, not just for a sweeper keeper, but also for modern day keepers in general? Well, I'm going to be answering all of those questions in this video, but before I get into that, are you sick of paying extortionate prices for football shirts? Well, that's why you need Jersey Fever. I used to only be able to afford 1 or maybe 2 jerseys per year, but because Jersey Fever have new season jerseys available for less than £20 and retro jerseys for around £30, I now have a whole collection of great quality football shirts, and my favourite has to be my Manchester United 2003-2004 shirt with Ronaldo on the back. So if you like any of these, a link will be left in the description below, and if you use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL at checkout, you'll also get 5% off. So David De Gea will almost certainly need to be replaced if Erik Ten Hag is appointed manager. In the video that I released on Tuesday, I fully broke down Ten Hag's style of play at Ajax, identifying why the ball playing ability of the goalkeeper is key to Ten Hag's possession system. And the fact is that David De Gea is not a very good ball playing keeper at the top level. Now, he could of course develop this part of his game, but given that he is 31, and if anything he seems to have got worse with his feet over the past few seasons, I think that if United can bring in a goalkeeper who is around David De Gea's goalkeeping level, but who is superior with their feet, Ten Hag will be looking to replace De Gea. Now, a lot of United fans, particularly on Twitter and TikTok, seem to completely dismiss any De Gea criticism, stating that he has been arguably United's best player this season, and to be fair, I would agree, and the stats do support this to a degree. So there is a stat that is used to see how good a shot stopper a keeper is, and it's called post-shot expected goals minus goals allowed, which looks at all the shots that a keeper has faced, adds up the XG rating, which shows the probability of scoring from this position, and then minuses the goals that the keeper has actually allowed. If this metric is positive, it means that the keeper has faced a higher post-shot expected goals rate than goals he has allowed, showing that he has kept out more goals than the XG model says he should have, meaning he is overperforming when it comes to shot stopping. If that number is negative, then obviously it means that they are underperforming in terms of shot stopping. David De Gea actually sits top of this metric when compared against every other goalkeeper in the Premier League this season, recording a rate of 0.36 per 90, meaning that De Gea is saving 0.36 more goals. He also sits at the top in total with 10.4 over the course of the whole season. Once more, it is the most in the league, with Jose Sarr of Wolves in second place with a total of 10.1 and 0.34 per 90. So when it comes to shot stopping, David De Gea is still not just one of the best in the Premier League, but one of the best in world football, and so it is understandable why many fans think it's absurd to even question if De Gea needs to be replaced, especially with the amount of other areas that United do need to improve first. However, I do think that this is a naive standpoint, as whilst United do need at least 5 or 6 new outfield players, if United weren't to replace De Gea, I see it negatively affecting their overall possession system, causing significant problems next season. See, unlike Rangnick or Solskjaer's Manchester United sides before, Ten Hag's United will be looking to play out from the back, even under an aggressive press. This requires the defenders and the keeper to be composed under pressure, being very accurate short passers, whilst also having the necessary long passing ability to clip a pass over the opposition's press and release the pressure. We've seen just how much Manchester City have improved since Ederson came in, making it extremely hard to press City aggressively without leaving the opportunity for them to exploit you with one long driven pass from Ederson upfield. If United have David De Gea in goal, opposition sides will know that United don't have this same ability, enabling them to press higher, and either David De Gea will abandon the possession style and go long, most likely losing possession, or attempts to play out, but because his passing ability is one of his weaknesses, this could result in De Gea giving the ball away in United's defensive third, which could be catastrophic. Andre Onana at Ajax was perfect for Ten Hag's style of play. Here we see that as the ball goes back to him, the opposition forward is pressurising him from the left side. Now, if this was David De Gea, almost certainly it would have resulted in a panic clearance upfield, likely resulting in a loss of possession. But Onana is composed, positions his body as though he's going to clear the ball upfield before playing a reverse pass back out to the left side, where the Ajax defender now has the space to calmly walk the ball up the pitch, allowing Ajax to move the ball into the middle third and bypass the opposition's press. Another great example of Onana's ball playing ability is here. The opposition have pushed up, pressurising Ajax in a man-to-man V-shaped press, cutting off all of Onana's short passing options. If David De Gea was in goal, this would likely result in a long ball upfield, but Onana has the passing ability to draw a pass out to Mazraoui high up on the right flank. He's able to head the ball back inside, and now Ajax with one pass and a header inside not only have bypassed the 3 opposition players in the high press, but they now have possession in the middle third with the opposition out of their defensive shape, which then allows Ajax to exploit the space in the midfield. Now David De Gea's lack of ability to do this was one reason why United have struggled to break down deep defensive units, and it stems from their inability to play out under pressure. If you always go long under the first wave of pressure, which United do more often than not, because they have players like De Gea, Maguire, McTominay, Fred and Wan-Bissaka in those deep areas, and this means that United don't have the opportunity to then exploit the space between the opposition side's defensive shape when they have pushed up to press high. And so when United are able to actually attack, the opposition have dropped back behind the ball, and the space between the lines for players like Fernandes and Pogba has now been closed off. But it's not just De Gea's passing which is an issue, it's also the fact that he is more of a traditional keeper who will stay on his line as long as possible, rather than being a modern day sweeper keeper who anticipates passes over the back line and is able to race out to sweep the danger away. And we can see this as when we look at the number of defensive actions outside the box that each keeper in the Premier League has completed this season. De Gea ranks second from bottom with just 0.21 per 90, ahead of only Alex McCarthy, whilst keepers like David Raya, Jose Sa and Robert Sanchez are recording more than 1 per 90. Now again, this is going to be problematic in a Ten Hag side, as I've said in the previous tactical analysis, Ten Hag sides do like to press aggressively, which requires a backline to squeeze up the pitch to create a vertically compact pressing shape. That means that the side can be vulnerable to long balls over the high back line, and so if United have a keeper that can't rush out and sweep these balls, it's going to be hugely problematic, especially against teams like City and Liverpool who have the ability to play these accurate long passes from deep positions. But there are still more metrics that show that De Gea doesn't have the all-round attributes to play as a modern day keeper. He ranks bottom out of every keeper in the league for percentage of crosses claimed with just 3%, whilst keepers like Jose Sa, Aaron Ramsdale and Robert Sanchez are sitting above 10%. With De Gea facing the 5th most crosses in total of any keeper in the league, you can see why this is a key weakness for United, as without an aerially dominant keeper, it leaves the defenders with the sole task of winning these aerial duels. If United had a keeper who could come out and claim these crosses, it would take the pressure off of them in the box and reduce the aerial chances and chances from deflections inside the box that the opposition receive. So as we can see, despite David De Gea being a world-class shot stopper, he is severely lacking in other areas. And it's a bit like the Aaron Wan-Bissaka situation. In the modern game at a top side, you need to be an all-rounder in whatever position you play. You can't have severe weaknesses in your game, as this is going to make your side liable in certain situations, whether this is when playing a high line, facing crosses into the box, or playing out when under pressure. And so even though I do think that David De Gea is a world-class shot-stopping keeper, and overall still a top-level keeper in general, if Ten Hag comes in, he has to be replaced as he just isn't suited to the style of play and will be a liability in multiple areas. And if United fans do want Ten Hag as manager, which the majority seem to do, this is the fact that they have to accept. Sometimes a player has to be replaced not because they aren't good enough in that position, but because they aren't good enough in that specific role in the side system, and that is the case for David De Gea. Now in my Who Manchester United Should Sign transfer video that is coming up, I will be talking about the specific goalkeeper or goalkeepers I would be targeting for Manchester United this season, or at the end of this season for next season rather. So if you do want to see that video, subscribe and click the bell. Check the description for more videos as well, and put your thoughts in the comment section below.